Hello and welcome back to Season 5, Episode 2 of Sports Talk.
With just about the fall season coming to a wrap, 4 teams out of 5 made it to the postseason.
A great fall season for Mepham sports. Lily and the volleyball team had a successful season and made it to the playoffs. We'll get a bit into that in just a bit.
First, we're going to start off with the football team. It was a great season for them. They finished 3rd seed in the Nassau County Conference 2 with a 6-2 record.
A terrific season for them is right. They were on the road to Hofstra after a big playoff win here at Mepham, where they beat Valley Stream Central 42-13.
And then it was a heartbreaking loss to MacArthur at Hofstra in the semifinals, 21-18. Tom, you take a deeper look at that and what the road to Hofstra was like for the Mepham football team. That was first seen on the midweek update.
Mepham had a great football season, finishing 6-2 at the number 3 seed in Nassau County Conference 2. At the start of the season, it's one thing that every player has on their mind.
Hofstra, baby.
Hofstra.
Hofstra. Hofstra.
Hofstra. For the players, they've been grinding out games all season long, and with the big playoff win over Valley Stream Central, they punched their ticket to Hofstra and knew it was something special.
Yeah, you know what? One game close to Hofstra, it means a lot to me because 2 years ago I actually got the chance to go to Hofstra as a freshman, and my goal ever since was to get the younger kids and even the seniors to get to Hofstra, because I know many of them have not had the chance. So it was definitely a goal, and now we're here. So now we just got to keep going.
I knew after the first game that we could get to Hofstra without a doubt. We had a big win over Cary, and Cary's a really good football team. But I knew after that like we had a really good shot to get to Hofstra after that. And yeah, it was a good big win for everyone, but the job's not finished. You know, we gotta win this weekend, and then we got the finals next weekend. So that's what's really most important.
For Mepham graduate Kenny Franquise, he was on the road to Hofstra 2 years ago, and he shares the experience.
I think the most exciting part, like leading up to the whole thing, is just the experience. I mean, a lot of guys, like, we were lucky enough to go there twice when I was at high school, but a lot of guys like don't even get the opportunity. Like last year, they didn't make it. The year before, 2 years before that, we didn't make it. So it's kind of like a cool thing to actually get there.
Coming into the season, Mepham was projected number 7 seed in Nassau County Conference 2. With all the doubt, they finished the number 3 seed.
Well, we knew that we were seeded as the 7th, and it definitely bothered us a lot. It was kind of like the chatter before the season, how we get that we didn't have that good of a year last year, but every year is different, and we knew that we were going to come out and show everyone that we're way better than being the 7th seed.
Mepham has since sailed the pirate ship straight to Hofstra University.
Now we're going to bring it to Mepham's hardwood. The boys volleyball team dropped from the number 1 seed to number 4 seed. They finished the season 10-4, tied with the number 3 seed Manhasset.
They were on a historical 9-game win streak when they started off the season 9-0. From there, they lost their next 4 out of 5 games. A tough loss for the boys as they fell short and didn't make the postseason.
Well, switching gears a bit, over to the girls volleyball team. You guys had a good season, Lily. You know, you guys finished 12-3 overall and made the postseason. How'd that go?
It was really good because last season we did make it to the postseason and we lost in the first game. So this year we were able to go further and we made it to the second round. So we haven't done that a long time in our history and in our program. So it was really good to make it past the first round.
Lily, what's the atmosphere and like the vibe leading up, all season long? Everyone's saying, oh, postseason. What's that like leading up and then finally getting there?
So we had a really good team this season, and it was exciting to play because every game we all went out so hard, and our team is so close outside of volleyball. So when we step on the court, it's so much fun to play together, and it's so easy to win because we just love being on the court together.
Absolutely.
So the boys soccer team finished their season with a tough loss. They're another team that made it to the postseason.
That's right, Lily. They played Limerick in the first round of the playoffs and won. Costa Carusis and Dominic Saracini scored 1 goal apiece to lead number 7 Mepham over number 10 Limerick in the first round of the Nassau Conference Class A playoffs.
Then they went on to play Roosevelt and lost in penalty kicks.
It's a very tough way, Lily, to especially end your season. Even for the seniors, say, you guys tie and then you go into penalty kicks and lose that.
For sure. And now over to the girls soccer team where they also made it to the postseason. They made a run into the playoffs and wound up dropping a loss against Garden City 4-0. Tom, you actually go and sit down with Stony Brook commit Luciana Sede-Ducate.
Hello and welcome to this month's The View. I'm joined by senior and Stony Brook commit Luciana Sede-Ducate. So, Luciana, you've been a part of this Mepham soccer team for the past 6 years on varsity. What has this been like for you?
It's been like an amazing roller coaster the past 6 years. Coming from 7th grade where I was a timid and shy 11-year-old to now where, I was a captain on the team and a big role model, it's been amazing. Going through all the playoff games, going through a variety of different girls on the team, it's just been amazing and a great experience to go through.
So, what's one thing that you learned from these girls, when you were still in middle school and, really trying to get to know this team better?
One thing I learned from the girls when I was still in middle school is honestly how to be a team player. I was really nervous when I was young on the team, but the girls were super, super caring and made me feel very comfortable. And I watched them together because the older girls were always super close. And, one girl made a mistake, they'd always pick them back up and say it's no problem. And watching these girls really showed me how to be a team player and how to make everyone around me feel comfortable.
Absolutely. So, how were you able to jump straight into a captain role and, be a role model to others? I know you just mentioned it almost, these girls helped you become the player who you are. But, other than that, like, what are some other ways that, you've really been able to show yourself?
Yeah, honestly, just watching the girls and how they interacted with each other really had a big impact. And there were a couple of captains on the team throughout the 6 years, and I watched them do organizations, raising money, doing stuff for the team. So that was able to translate into my 2 years as captain, where we raised money for breast cancer and various other things. So just watching the girls really helped me learn how to be in a leadership role.
Absolutely. So starting from a 7th grade on varsity till now today, what is one big goal that you had in mind? Coming into this team as a 7th grader, you mentioned you were timid, you were shy, you were scared to come out. And, at the beginning of your career of the 6 years, what's one big goal that you had in mind, coming into it?
One big goal that I had throughout all the 6 years was that every year I wanted to make as big of an impact on the team as possible, whether that be on the field, scoring goals, or just playing well, or off the field, like I mentioned before, raising money for organizations, or just making an impact on the other girls in the team, making them feel comfortable, more confident with themselves. That's just one thing I wanted to do every year, have as much of an impact as I could, and have more and more of an impact every year that I came back.
Sure. And now committed to Stony Brook to continue your athletic career. What does the future have for you in store?
Next 4 years have me studying at Stony Brook and playing on their team. One big hope I have is to make it to the NCAA championships and go as far as possible, maybe even win one and win conference champs. So I'm super excited for the next 4 years to play on that team. And if possible, maybe after 4 years, I'd love to see myself playing in a professional league.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you're excited as well as Stony Brook to have you. So, how hard was it to, this season, knowing that this is the last 6 seasons you're going to be playing, on the Mepham turf? You guys lost to Garden City in the playoffs, and, how hard was that game to process, like, oh, this is the last game?
Honestly, throughout the season, it didn't really hit me yet that it was my last season. I was having so much fun, and I was just so used to the fact that I'd be coming back next year that it didn't really, hit me yet until we got into playoffs, and then that's when I realized, this is my last time I'll ever be in Mepham playoffs. And that Garden City game was rough, especially at halftime. Once we were down by a couple goals, I kind of realized that, this might honestly be the last time. So the end of the game was really sad, but overall it's a bittersweet thing because now I'm so excited to move on to college to play soccer, but I'm going to miss all the girls I played with, especially my coaches who have coached me for the past 6 years. So yeah, I would say it was bittersweet, but it's definitely sad that, this experience for 6 years has been something that I'll never be able to experience again, and I'm just happy that I was able to go through this.
Absolutely. So that will just about wrap up this month's The View. Luciana Sedicante, Stony Brook commit, thank you for your time, and we're going to throw it back to the studio.
Matt, we didn't forget you. Before we wrap up the show, the next minute is yours.
I'm Matt Mano, back with the Fast Minute in Sports. Now let's start the clock. Not sure if you're aware, but I am a huge New England Patriots fan. Just last night, from when this was filmed, we beat the Falcons by 25, which was the deficit in the Super Bowl, on the night of a partial lunar eclipse lasting 3 hours and 28 minutes. I thought it was funny. The Patriots are now 7-4 after starting 1-3, and it looks like the rebuild, after only 1 year, is over. But how did we get here? Well, it starts on the defense, where some guys have stepped up, like Dante Hightower, Mr. Interception J.C. Jackson, the second coming of Kyle Van Noy, and possible Defensive Player of the Year Matthew Judon. Now in high school, everyone picks on the freshmen, but in New England they run the show. gone are the days of, oh, Belichick can't draft, because I assure you he can. You got a steal in Ramondre Stevenson, a possible defensive rookie of the year in Christian Barmore, their franchise quarterback in Mac Jones, a top offensive tackle in Mike Onwu. And did I mention Mac Jones? Yeah, he can draft. And I didn't even mention some of the undrafted free agents that we have. Jacoby Myers, Miles Bryant, and all-pro returner Gunnar Olszewski. We got the talent, we got the coaching, and I think it's safe to say that the evil empire is back. I've got high expectations for the Pats. Let's just hope I don't Mano curse them like I always do. That's all from me. I'm Matt Mano. Now back to Tom and Lily in the studio.
Thanks, Matt. For Matt Mano, I've been Lily Yepes.
And I'm Tom Morrow. We'll see you all next month with more exclusive sports and more news.